DaAi TV reporters shared their reporting experience with city volunteers. Singapore Great Love Preschool lets children experience the difficulty faced by physically challenged people. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Siri Su. Thank you for joining us. In Taiwan, DaAi TV News Department manager has shared her reporting experience with city volunteers. She talked about how she covered the Taroko Express train derailment accident while caring for the injured passengers. From her sharing, volunteers learned that DaAi TV staff carries the mission of reporting the truth while also guiding the public. The Taroko Express train derailment accident has led to 49 deaths, destroying 49 families.
The bodies were stuck underneath the seats or flew out of the carriage, stuck in between the train bottom and the rails.
DaAi News team has gone to the accident site to report the news. As there was no tables, reporter could only use a tire as a desk. Many cameramen had to cramp into the small space to capture the images. As there were helicopters taking off, the dust has forced people to close their eyes.
And the connector has been twisted and deformed.
Reporters overcome hardship to document this disaster. They stay at the front line to document the most serious traffic accident in Taiwan in half a century. DaAi TV News Department Manager Josephine Chen shares her experiences. While at the accident site, she's a reporter, but also a city volunteer.
For the deceased passengers covered with white cloth, I would chant Buddha's name. After I finished filming, I would hold the hands of the injured passengers and tell them the ambulance is on its way. Stay strong.
Ling Ming Hao, his wife and children sat in the 8th carriage, which was the most seriously damaged. The family of 4 was safe, and after they were sent to the hospital, Josephine Chen found them to get first-hand interviews.
Later, we shared this story with other TV stations because we do not need exclusive interviews. We need more people to report positive stories. This is the way to benefit the public. If the story is positive through your senses, it enters your consciousness and becomes positive. So nurturing wisdom begins with watching DaAi TV.
Reporting the truth and guiding the public, DaAi TV carries the mission to report major disasters. It upholds the mission to purify people's minds and helps to spread more seeds of kindness to harmonize society. In China, Changsha Tzu Chi volunteers visit nursing homes regularly to provide love and care to seniors. At the most recent visit, volunteers also provided foot massage. Let's take a look at their most recent visit.
It's late spring and Hunan's Changsha is experiencing light rain, but city volunteers keep to their promise and visit the elderly at the assisted living. The happiness on their faces is very clear to see.
I like the elderly. Every time I smile at them, they smile back.
This child is very sensitive and she has her own judgment to make. When the adults say one thing and act another way, she just starts to doubt us. Teaching by action is stronger than just teaching with words.
Currently a senior in high school, Chen Yide has been volunteering with his mother since he was a sophomore. The 2 years of volunteering work has helped him earn admission to a university in the United States. However, he quite enjoys the volunteer work.
Universities in the United States care heavily about volunteer work, and if it wasn't for being a volunteer in Tzu Chi for 2 years, then I wouldn't even have such an advantage. I very much enjoy the time I've spent in Tzu Chi, and the compassion I felt as a child came back.
The volunteer team helping to tend to the elderly's foot health had worked until really late the night before, but still arrived on time for today's activity.
昨天1点钟下班，今天早上5点钟起来了，我们都是，因为我们是做足浴行业的嘛，所以要搞到1点钟。
晚上没休息好，还要来参加这个活动，为什么？
积功德，做好事。
Caring for these seniors, the volunteers spend time with them, ensuring a good time is had.
In Taiwan's Yunlin County, 93-year-old Mr. Shi takes care of his 2 granddaughters after his son and his wife passed away. The 3 of them live in a dilapidated house. When city volunteers visited the family, they helped to clean up the mess and then remodel the home for their suitable living. Here's our report. He'll say things like he won't be around much longer, and when I hear that, it affects my mood, and I'll tell him not to say that anymore, or I will leave the room. I don't want to hear such a thing. When I was born, my grandfather was already 70, near 80. He just wants someone to be there for him, but his children are not nearby, so yes, there should be someone with him.
When we first came, we couldn't bear to see this. His wife would look for recyclables and bring back, so we transported about 6 large trucks out.
These 2 rooms, too. Garbage piled up here, too. His wife scavenged, and when his wife passed, his daughter continued. Both have developmental disabilities.
Often I just felt like there was no one in my family, and I'll tell myself that I need to grow up and be mature. I'll need to take care of everything and not be a bother to anyone.
There was a room which rented at 5,000 NT dollars a month, and I asked if the sisters wanted to live there and their grandfather would live at the assisted living home. They declined and kept crying that they wanted to live with their grandpa.
They are young and it's difficult for them to take care of their grandfather. So that's why we thought the grandfather should live in assisted living. There would be professionals taking care of him. However, people are bound by love, so we came up with another plan to fulfill their wish. No matter how long the grandfather has to live with the girls, we want to seize the quickest time possible to finish this mission. Basically, there is a shower and a toilet here, a room here, and the kitchen here. This is for you and your sister. You each get one. See which you like best. You can stay here. Try the key and lock this. Give the keys to your sister later. This is the room key and don't lose your keys.
I thought exterior was just going to be exposed metal and some wooden boards. That was going to be special as it is. But it has highly exceeded my expectation.
Even though we have built a home out of steel reinforcements, we still add much of Tzu Chi's touch to it. So the home looks inviting and warm to live in. They will grow up and this home is their roots. So we want to make it more of a home and not just a building.
In
In Singapore, Great Love Preschool has designed a class for the children to experience the inconvenience faced by physically challenged people. In the class, the children learn to appreciate their healthy bodies and help other people. Let's join them there. With their hands tied, the children use their feet to hold paintbrushes to draw.
It is very painful. It is difficult to hold the paintbrush.
They want to have a pair of hands, but they cannot do anything about it. However, they did not give up as they are still very grateful.
The teacher at Great Love Preschool has designed a class for the children to experience the inconvenience physically challenged people encounter.
Physically challenged people need our help and care. Therefore, we hope the children will have correct concepts. Since they are little and help people in need, they can also learn to appreciate their healthy bodies and do meaningful things.
What they usually do with ease in daily life has become challenging now. Having understood the difficulties physically challenged people face, the children have deep realizations.
那你觉得说你现在有健全的双手和双脚，你幸福吗？
幸福。
为什么嘞？
因为我可以动跟玩，还有我可以走路。我感觉我没有手，我很伤心。
When I could not use my hands, I felt very sad. Because I did not have my hands, I could not do things. Since I have a healthy body, I can help them.
我要好的身体，所以我们可以帮他们。
Through the experience class, the children have learned to cherish their healthy bodies and spread love and care. In Tainan, DaAi Kindergarten has been established for 20 years. Many alumni still miss their childhood memories and choose to serve into their affiliates or volunteer at DaAi Kindergarten. They said that DaAi Kindergarten has taught them to love the people around them. Let's take a look.
We called our teacher Mom, as we felt she's like our mother.
Zhu Tingyi, who's tall and graceful, is a third-year alumni of DaAi Kindergarten.
In the past, in that class, we had to pick coins. We picked the food we were going to eat, so we learned that we need to give before reaping fruits.
The seeds of kindness planted in the young mind back then have sprouted now.
If I read it in the textbook, but I have never encountered the situation, I will look it up. I like to help other people. I enjoy helping people. When I see that my classmates are facing difficulties, I will reach out to them.
Tingyi is vegetarian and passionate. Since graduating from TSUST's nursing department, she has been assigned to work at Darling City Hospital, which is close to her home.
一开始会怕，因为就是第一次对，然后后来久久就习惯。有时候是会跟同事一起下班。
After working as a nurse for half a year, she volunteered to serve in a high-pressure surgical ICU.
Maybe today, the patient seemed fine, but the next second, he needs emergency treatment. Life is impermanent.
Serving at Tzu Chi affiliate, she vows to be like other Tzu Chi school graduates who see patients as their priorities.
大爱其实就是教我们要对周遭的人要有更多的关怀。
Playing Mozart music with melody of love, DaAi Kindergarten alumni Xu Xiufen is now a piano teacher.
从拉开始吗？还是从蕊的？然后你再弹一次，弹了一两次都是。
When the students played it wrongly for 1 or 2 times, some teachers will start to lose their patience. However, since people gave me a lot of love when I was little, including my teachers and family, so I'm willing to tolerate them.
好，小朋友好。
Having graduated 20 years ago, Xiufen did not forget her alma mater as she returns to the school to volunteer.
门口望望，眼睛黑黝黝望望。建立一些观念的时候。
I learned about my values here. So, after I grew up, I would think about a lot of things from the angle of love.
下去就是以爱的角度下去想。
On campus, there's a lot of childhood memories. As she meets the familiar faces, they have also aged.
是在哪里？
你还记得他吗？记得啊，因为他的脸都没有变。
看着这群
As the children look at these big brothers and sisters, including volunteers who come here, needless to say, they are being influenced.
影响到每一个孩子的心。
我有想过，如果我在一般
I have thought that if I grew up in other kindergartens, maybe my patience and tolerance would not be as great.
As these alumni spread seeds of love, may the seeds of kindness sprout in kindergarten's young minds. Going through dialysis means one's weak and unable to make money. This is the reason why Mr. Lin Youzhi didn't want to start dialysis. Fortunately, at City Dialysis Center in Douliu, he regained his energy and he can work in the morning and have dialysis in the afternoon. Let's meet this patient.
大家午安，大家好，咪咪阿笑广播电台。另外，即摆要讲话啊，有志是咱这班的新同学啦，新同学，嘿，有志你甲大家讲，大家好。
大家好，我有志。
伊是有志，伊是足高野有志哈。
This old picture of Lin Youzhi is when he was close to 120 kilograms. He has a history of high blood pressure and gout. In 2011, he was diagnosed with chronic kidney disease, and his doctor suggested he start dialysis.
Because I need to work, I was afraid that I wouldn't be able to work, and I've only seen people who are on dialysis laid up in bed.
He wasn't willing to start dialysis because he was the main source of income for the family. He has 2 daughters who are quite young still, so he was afraid of losing his job.
有志，有志，你今天中午准备了什么午餐啊？你打开我看一下。
其实我爸帮我准备的啦。
你爸爸帮你准备的，你的蛋白质都是够的啦。
有。
嘿，你饭都吃得完全部吗？
不会，大概吃一半这样。
油炸的东西尽量不要，因为其实对你来讲，一些高磷、高油的东西都不是太好。你的青菜选择也还不错啊。
Due to catching pneumonia, Lin had to start dialysis. The first challenge was controlling his diet and water intake, as an excess amount of water will cause heart and kidney failure and possible death.
第3次再吃哦。好，来。
会那么严格的要求他，只是希望他的在经。
We have asked him to follow the strict rules for his own good, as we hope after dialysis he will have a better life. And the things that we can do each day is to remind him daily how to manage his water intake and how it will affect his health if he doesn't. Slowly they will understand.
那控制的不好会发生什么情形？其实他们慢慢的，他们也都知道。
血压都还好了哈。 OK 啦 ，OK。
你抽筋，你不一定是会是在早上或晚上，对不对？一颗哈，我先开个2个礼拜，不然因为我怕会遇到过年。对呀，哈。
Understanding what life is like after dialysis in regards to bowel movement, urination, blood pressure levels, medicine, energy, appetite, and sleep pattern, then evaluating the day's dehydration levels, one can maintain energy and continue to work.
He has energy to work without losing his breath. He can maintain his family's financial stability.
Being on dialysis has helped improve Lin's bloating and return his energy. The medical team's support helped Lin return to the workplace, where he can work in the morning, do dialysis in the afternoon, and then continue to work at night.
The first week of dialysis was very helpful already. The swelling in my lower leg is gone. It looked like 2 stumps before, and now it's gone down, so I'm happy about that.
As water shortage cases began to rise in the mid-southern regions of Taiwan, many water reservoirs faced the worst drought in 56 years. Yet in the north, Feicui Reservoir remained unaffected as it provides water to Taipei, New Taipei City, Taoyuan, Hsinchu, and Miaoli. In 2002, when water shortages came to a new high, the Taipei Water Department planned out a pipeline renewal project. Let's learn more in our feature report. Taiwan is experiencing water shortages as many cities experience heavy water leakage. This might be due to the old and malfunctioning pipes. Jilong City came on top as the city with the highest rate of leakage. Following the rankings, Taichung is the highest out of 6 municipalities. However, Taipei City has the lowest water leakage rate because in 2002, a project was introduced hoping to change the old pipes into newer ones. A hefty budget was in place in order to preserve water.
In 2002, Phaser Reservoir was at the lowest water level. If I remember correctly, it was around 110 meters. Now it's 164 meters. During that year, Taipei City scheduled for 9 days of water rationing.
The water distribution in Taipei was 2.3 million tons per day in 2005. Now it is 1.8 million tons per day, saving around 490,000 tons of water. This is thanks to the Taipei Water Department for changing up older pipes.
When staff members find out about water leakage locally, they will use the leak detector to tell if it's true or not. But no matter where I go, I can hear sounds since this device is very sound sensitive. It captures even sounds unheard of by the human ear.
Cars traveling and the footsteps of pedestrians will be recording to the leak detector. But how does one differentiate water leakage sound from other sounds? Li Zhengkun, who has 21 years of experience in this field, told us that it's all about experience.
The highest volume doesn't say anything about water leaks, since sometimes water travels into walls, making it sound like water leakage. Furthermore, another sound that is like water leakage is the sound of water going into a resident's water meter. We have to check if the water meter is active or not. The leak detector works like a microphone, and along with an amplifier, the electronics inside amplifies sounds up to 900 times.
Before detecting water leakage, mechanics will first install noise recorders around stop valves, setting the time around 2 to 3 in the morning since it's the quietest time of the day. If noises are recorded consistently from 5 to 7 days, then there might be a possibility of water leakage. The Taipei Water Department found that domestic water leaks are a result of toilet issues. Thus, a home service was initiated in 2016.
When I poured the soy sauce into the water tank, the color becomes the soy sauce's color. Now the water is supposed to be transparent, but it turned out to be brown. This means there is water leakage. Toilet leaks waste very minimal water, but volunteers hope that 24,000 users may be more aware of saving water and become users that do not waste water easily.
As water shortages began to raise red flags in Taiwan, the government stood out in an attempt to help citizens understand the importance of saving water. Paper Windmill Theater has held a performance at City Yunning Liaison Office. City volunteers also seized this chance to promote recycling. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.